Hello, friends and lovers. Welcome back to Hades 2. It's time for a Morrigan run. More of Morrigan. Okay. No songs. Jeweled Palm, you know, the usual thing. We're going to the surface. 34 fear. We got Rocky, who doesn't consume that much magic here. So let's just have some fun. Let's have a good old time. I realized in the last video, thank you all for the questions and the warm reception to it, by the way, explaining some of the door rewards best that I could. I should probably explain this zone a little bit. I'm not going to go crazy and talk about it for probably the whole video. Yeah, Arctic Ring is fine for this. But Aethir is kind of special, you know? It has a bit of a different flavor to rewards, just a little bit. Zeus, you say, huh? His special would actually be quite strong here overall. Not certain I'd really want his attack that much, but depending on what gets offered, I guess we shall see. Yeah, ooh, static shock, you say. I kind of don't hate it with this. I don't hate it. I think it's hard to turn down lay blitz damage, though, at the same time. So Aethir is kind of special. We talk about how the game doesn't like to offer the same reward on multiple doors. Aethir is kind of different, since there's a lot of doors all at once, and you can only get certain things. However, it can offer you the same gods, which weirdly we did not actually get for the this entire Aethir, right? But normally you could be offered multiple chambers that say have Hestia on the door, right? But however, you could not get multiple doors that have max health or max magic or Hermes or hammers, because then you would get, I don't know, I guess too many of those things. Selene too. It's really just boons here. So this is a place where you could really kind of mess with it. You know, you could just get one god at the start of the run potentially, right? And then you can roll the doors here to try to make sure you keep getting that god by abusing it. If we had rerolls on, just sort of a general thought about the zone here. I figured I'd outline real quick. Anyway, what the hell do we want here? Whose attack are we looking for? I wouldn't really want more Demeter, I don't think, here. Why don't we check out Hestia? There's always the hammer to check out. See what we get offered. What do we got going on here? Yeah, I'm not really that interested with anything here. An inflicted curse deals 50 damage if the foe is not already afflicted up to every 1 second. It's kind of interesting with 2 curses to our name already, I think, right? But I don't want Hestia's attack. I don't want Poseidon's attack. Oh, well then. I would say those are mostly not good. We do need some amount of magic regen. Hestia is kind of a good god to have in general. Oh, I just realized we have Howling Soul also. That's from the Jeweled of the Palm. I like Howling Soul. Well, that kind of hurts Hestia a little bit because I generally like Glowing Coal, which throws your cast too, which can no longer be offered now. Reaper Knife. Sudden Flurry. Skulking Onslaught. Your attacks deal 150% damage, striking foes from behind. Well, the Omega special stuff with this aspect is pretty terrible, I think. I have actually done it at least once, and it like got kind of goofy, but it felt like the kind of thing like once in a very rare instance where it could happen. I don't know if it ever made it to YouTube, though. I think it happened like before the patch or something, and I haven't tried to redo it again. It was a lot of work, though. We need to take 4 doors here, and I'd rather not take Hermes before we have Zag's keepsake on if I can help it as well, so that's kind of a bit unfortunate. Alright, let's see. I really don't want your attack. I don't think I want your attack. Yeah, it's kind of weak anyway. You could just take Cardio Gain and solve that. Fills in the slot. Snuffed Candle is okay. It's rare, though, so it's not that tempting, honestly. I'd probably just rather solve the magic issue here that we could potentially run into down the line. And call that Dunzo. No more doors? But I want doors. Another interesting thing about the zone is every door you see here will have the exact same layout when you enter it, no matter what run. So that door we just entered, it'll always be that long hallway with a lot of side doors, really. It's usually very narrow. Well, I mean, it is very narrow, and usually very easy, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Don't need max magic. We'll take the max health. I guess I'm going to take another Demeter door here. So this room will always look like this, but the enemies might be different. Speedrunners actually abuse this quite well, because that just means, like, the smaller chambers, like that hallway we were just in, are generally much better to go in. There's just all the enemies are clustered together and there's fewer waves, etc., etc. Cold storage, the big freeze build to freeze them all. Sounds kind of fun, honestly. Sounds kind of fun. It has been a while since I did a Demeter-centric thing, I'll admit, too. A bit hard for me to accomplish when I keep using Jeweled Palm, though. I just can't help myself, you know? Thank you. Very nice. Let's go. You gotta love Morrigan. Do you gotta love Morrigan? I don't know. Am I just gonna take a Hex here? I don't want any max magic, and like I said, I'd prefer to conserve Hermes. There's one more god we could still get, since we don't have all 4 yet. Something someone brought up, and I realized it was kind of too difficult to really explain in the video. In the last video I made in the comments was bringing up filling slots. The term filling slots usually refers to when you fill one of your core slots, as we call it, which is your attack, your special, your cast, your dash, and your magic regen. In Hades 1, you know, it would be all those things too, basically. These are what we would describe as your core slots. The game does like to show you boons for your core slots slightly more than other boons, so you'll keep seeing them offered a little bit more often, basically. We're not really using enough magic for phase shift, so I think we go Wolf Howl. So there are circumstances where it might not be a bad idea to fill in a core slot, even if you don't really like the boons per se. You know, you're not really interested in the boon, but you just don't want to keep getting offered, say, a dash boon, which happens probably quite often in runs, because there's just a lot of runs where you never get offered like a useful dash boon, honestly. There's just not that many, truth be told. However, I believe it's been mostly accepted in the community, people who do speedruns and high fear and things of that nature, that it should be of extremely low priority to fill a slot, essentially. A slot that you were not going to make use of, you know what I mean? So, for instance, if I wasn't using magic at all this run, there's a pretty high chance I would never fill in the magic regen, unless it's extremely late in the run. I know you might say, but then you're going to keep getting offered magic regen boons instead of boons that you might want, like duo boons and legendaries. It's like, yes, that can and will happen. But overall, you're probably better off just taking something that actually helps your run instead of simply trying to, you know, I don't know how you'd even describe it. Manipulate your offerings, I guess. It's not as high as a priority as I think people consider, you know, because you only get offered so many boons, right? So taking a boon purely for the purpose of getting offered different boons later on is just not always that big of a deal. It's one thing if you're taking a, you know, potentially useless boon so you can get offered a legendary, like a good legendary. That's something to consider, potentially. Because legendaries like Apollo's legendary or something like that can be extremely powerful. But yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say, if you're worried about like, oh, should I really fill this slot even though I kind of want this other boon too, because this way I won't get offered that slot again, honestly, just take the useful boon. That's my outlook, and after talking with a lot of hardcore players and stuff like that, I think we're mostly in the same boat. You know, again, there's exceptions, there's instances, there's like, okay, maybe I should do that in this specific instance, but I think in general we can say. I think in general. All right, more Apollo? Sure. Blinding Rush is something that would be a third curse for our weird Medea boon. We took Apollo's attack. If I wanted to get his legendary now, I'd have to get his dash here. We could. Do I really care about his legendary with Morrigan? Not that much, honestly. Not that much. I guess it's okay, though. Supernova could be taken, but that's not very good, honestly. I actually want to read the hammer again. It's attacks, okay. I guess we're just going to take Blinding Rush. We're not going to rarefy it at all, because it only ups the sprint damage there. I like Apollo's attack here. It's a decent percentage. Actually, Apollo's attack generally is like the attack I like the most if I just want a percentage. More so than Aphrodite's. I think it's definitely worth considering because usually the bigger AoE is just such a big deal. It truly is. It truly is. Yeah, I've kind of realized, I know I'm referring to another video you aren't watching right now, that this game could really use, or my channel, or maybe some other creators, you know, we could probably serve you better if we were making like some advanced tips and tricks guides or something like that, you know, with some consolidated information. Because don't believe me, I understand that trying to learn about the game from my videos, you're really getting like one tidbit here and there for every like 40 minutes you're watching, probably. You really gotta go searching pretty hard to find some very specific info. It's one of those things, though. It's time consuming, I won't lie. Nimble limbs, huh? It's not that interesting here, but I'm also kind of interested how it works with the special, if it helps at all.
Let's pick up the pace.
I think one thing I've realized as a creator is that I kind of enjoy making those videos. There's things that I like about it and some things I don't necessarily enjoy doing it, you know, because, you know, work is work. And of course, as you can imagine, playing the game and talking to people is a lot more entertaining than, you know, sitting there and writing a script and performing the script and things like that. But the other thing is that it takes actually a lot of research usually and confirmation from other people in the community to make sure, like, I'm going to give out the right info for y'all and not lead you astray. It's easy to make mistakes, you know? Be like, oh, I actually... turns out that thing I told you was incorrect, and I just hate the idea that I might do that to you, you know? I do not enjoy that. One of the reasons why I'm so slow to it, and also just, you know, I'm very comfortable with where the channel is, with what we do here, you know? Call me lazy if you want, because I get it. I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like. Here we go. Here we go. Now we're looking good. I am a lazy creator. I'm more than willing to say it. More than willing to say it. Vaz, your hex. I don't think Wolfowl's gonna do that much. We can't even get the Godsent for it at this rate. But yeah, nevertheless, there are things I'd still like to do for the game, but big dazzling display. Too bad that's terrible, huh? Now, this is kind of an interesting circumstance. So let me be clear. Dazzling display is not worth taking, practically ever. Well, assuming you have a way to apply daze, and by just dashing near an enemy, Blinding Rush will apply daze. So dazzling display just sounds completely useless to me. It doesn't stack or anything like that. It's just not meaningful. So that is not a meaningful boon. Perfect Image actually gives you a damage bonus, right? Right away, we could even rarefy it. Prominence Flare would not be useful in the build. However, it is one of the prerequisites to the Legendary. So the question is, what do you take here? Something under the premise that maybe I'd get the Legendary going, or something that just does something for me now? That's just a tough decision, and there's no strictly correct answer. So one thing about the Legendary is that, A, it probably wouldn't be that crazy here with our build and how we're playing the game. It's possibly not that good, or that important, I guess, you know? The other thing is, do I have the magic regeneration in order to support using the Legendary often? Maybe, maybe not. The other thing is, I could use Rarefies on Perfect Image, but I probably wouldn't use Rarefies on Prominence Slayer. The other thing you have to consider is here, Prominence Slayer is a fire boon, and while I have no infusions, something like Slow Cooker could be something I get, give us more power on our attack and special, so fire could be good. Since Hestia is already in the build, she could offer Slow Cooker, whereas wind would probably not be very useful. You see the dilemma? I think a lot of times the bottom line is aiming for a Legendary boon is a lot more fun than just taking 18% more damage. I think we can all agree, right? Sometimes you just gotta take something like that. Let's see, Wolfowl. Arctic Gale, huh? It's another curse for Medea's thing. It's not actually worth considering Medea's thing, I think. I should say. Where is that? Down here? But it is kind of funny. I mean, it's the ultimate slow build in some ways, right? We have an elongated freeze. Now we have Arctic Gale that'll slow them down even further. Hey, wait, here's Apollo. Is there a chance? Is there a chance? There was no chance. So extra dose only affects the regular attack form, mostly using the Omega attack. Self-healing is actually okay, but backburner is kind of just more fun. I don't think I'm going to rarify it, though. I don't think so. Do I buy that? I guess I'm too low on cash. I think we got to skip it. One thing that I still think about, too, and I think it was quite revealing when Hades 2 first came out to understand a little bit more about at least some of the audience members. When Hades 2 first came out, I didn't get, early access or special treatment for the game or anything. So I was going in just as blind when early access first launched as anyone else that was joining early access at that junction. Ugh. So I did not know what I was getting into. So I had to learn the game just as much as anyone else, as you can imagine. Whoa. There's a lot of stuff on the screen right now. Nevertheless, I'll never forget someone who, surprisingly, had been a subscriber to my channel for years, publicly. YouTube can say that thing if you choose to. But they were quite upset at me the day after the game came out, and I published a video that was not a guide. And I just had to explain to them that I have to get to know the game. I can't tell you how to play the game if you don't give me time to get to know the game. They didn't like that I was just showing gameplay again, in other words. Whatever. So here's the thing with naughty YouTube comments or whatever, or, harsh feedback like that. Even if, they seem, I don't know what the term would be, out of line or something, sometimes it's just kind of good to know that perspective and just see, like, this is how some people see it, whether they're saying it or not. So it's kind of interesting to kind of just know that, and that's okay. Sometimes, even if they didn't say it the most polite way, sometimes it's good to just kind of know those things. Ooh, baby, sweeping, ambush, hell yeah. Crap, I kind of need max magic now then. But it made me think about it because I didn't really think of it as a problem prior to that moment, really. It's just like, I need time to get to know things in order to help other people, I guess is what I'm getting at here. Oh man, I wish I could find more slows here. Hey, tropical cyclone's kind of fun, right? Let's go ham. Okay. Magic could be a big problem now, though. And you might be surprised at how much time at least I need. Because truth be told, like, there's even some guys here and there where I just didn't get a lot of time with certain things. What do you mean not now? And my information or advice could possibly use some work. I'm looking back at some old videos where I talk about the new keepsakes that were introduced in 1.0. Zag's keepsake, Jewel Palm, and Krolex. And the truth is, I tell people how to unlock them first and foremost. Number two, I give you my opinions, but it was something like 3 days after the game came out or something like that. And the truth was, I just didn't have enough time with them to really fully understand them. So some of my opinions in that video are not good, straight up. They're really not very good. And I didn't give myself enough time to understand them before trying to dole out advice. And so I kind of look at that as, a weak spot, something I could have done better and something I have to keep in mind,
I think not.
And I would be kind of weary. I would be weary. You see some of those channels out there and it's like day one, they're giving out advice on how to beat like this massive game. It's just like, maybe they got early access to it and they got a bunch of playtime in it. But the thing is, it really takes an entire community to know what's best a little bit. I really do think. What does it take for the Demeter Legendary? It takes a community of playing the game a lot and then interacting with each other to like, really say, oh, we need a weird boon. I'm going to go for the Demeter Legendary for funnies. And that means I'm on my path to 2 different legendaries potentially then here. Boing. Look at it, so slow. No, wait, stop that. Woo! Damn, that's spicy, huh? Damn, that's spicy. Now, that's... But also, allow me to criticize myself. Enough time has passed that I probably don't have any more excuses. Hailstorm. Alright. Well, that means no legendary, but hailstorm, you know what I mean? Come on. But hailstorm. Enough time has passed. That I don't really have an excuse for, say, I guess, an advanced tips and tricks style video where we talk about more in-depth details and it's not just, you know, something like, I think this aspect's the strongest, you know. Something that kind of goes a bit more deep into the mechanics, like the previous video I had, but in a more concise format. So, I'm out of excuses now, but... After using your hex, you can use it one more time during the next 3 seconds. I kind of forget about that sometimes. D.O. Can't get Tipsy Shot, my favorite. My favorite. He doesn't give you anything that slows enemies, huh? Right? Does Festifog do anything? Emboldening vapors that repeatedly stun susceptible foes. Lasts for 5 seconds. And happens every 8 seconds. Huh. I don't really take worry-free often anymore, if at all. Droken Stupor is like, okay, you know what? It works with the weird, Oh, maybe I should have rarefied it. The weird, Medea things. Well, actually, wait a minute. I forget now. Do they count Dio's thing? They use the term curse, but it's not exactly, consistent. And yeah, he's Olympian, but again, it's not exactly consistent. If those things really count or not. A peek behind the curtain, you know? That's what y'all are vaguely getting today. Ooh, damn. This makes our cast quite interesting, right? Because we have Hailstorm and Tropical Cyclone. Ooh, that does work, too. All right, I'm going to rarefy that one. That works with Hailstorm, right? I should probably just take the max magic. All right. Demeter. I would never normally take Demeter here over Hestia, but... Oh, wait, no, I still can't get the legendary yet. Damn it. We're setting up, though. We're setting up, obviously. Okay. Boing, boing, boing. So we kind of have big backstabs. But also big slow. Okay, so Snow Queen... It's just so weird they keep offering the same boon. Snow Queen is one of the prerequisites. So we'll take that. I will definitely not rarefy it, though. Yes. Let's go this way. Try to get more boons here. That's me trying to come up with excuses as to why I'm not giving you probably what you hope for. Weed Killer, huh? I mean, it's pretty solid. I'm a little worried about magic, as you can imagine. We'll take it, though, huh? I will grab this not max health, this health as well, though. Weed Killer sounds pretty funny. This is gonna be a huge... Omega attack build in a lot of ways, huh? Everything is so much slower. It's pretty sick. 45 for that. Let's see. Oh, wow. He's already at that middle, bottom, I think. I wonder... Do those projectiles potentially get slowed, too? I think they might. I kind of don't recall, though. I just want to finish this guy if we can. This fella. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, though. Come back. Whoa. Oh, I actually did run out of magic. Which means I need to use the regular attack and or special to some degree. Middle. Top. Middle. Whatever. Top. Middle. And then it doesn't matter. It's just the opposite of whatever the last one was. Boing. All right. Boing. Yeah, magic was a bit of an issue. So I wonder, should I really even take Apollo's Legendary if it got offered now? It's very possible you shouldn't, but I'll probably take it anyway. For you, the viewers, for the audience, for the people. All right. Okay. Do I really care here that much? I don't think there's a ton here I really care about. I don't think Black and Fleece is even that special, honestly. Drop it helps charge up the Omega attack faster. I could probably kind of use that. I can buy all of that. Do I want to buy the health, too? It would be safe. I think I'm feeling pretty good, though. Apparently, we only have one Hermes boon. It was Nimble Limbs, which really doesn't suit this weapon. Unless you're, like, spamming Final Slice. That's the hammer that makes your, like, second combo hit deal a ton more damage or something. But yeah, we're not really doing that. Boing, boing. Get him. Very nice. Sexy. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. Apollo, huh? Yeah, I'm not really that interested in buffing Wolfhowl any further. Am I really gonna do this? Boing, boing. Thank you. Oh my golly god. Oh my Christmas day. Sweet Lord.
In the name of Hades.
We're spending magic. All right. Here we go, baby. How much does my Omega attack cost now? 75. I get 2 before I'm out of magic. I think I was offered a Tranquil Gain swap at one point. I'll take that now, honestly, over this. I'm kind of thinking, oh my god, the camera. Paid dues now. 2 legendaries. Give me it.
I accept this gift.
I don't think I'm getting a third, though. If I got offered to swap Lucid Gain, would I take that? That's sort of my thought now. There is also, like, Perfect Image, I guess. Oops, I definitely accidentally cast an Omega Special. Did not truly mean to. Get it! Boing, boing. Regular attack. Alright. Totally out of magic. I'm gonna have to pay attention to that, and I hate paying attention. I hate paying attention. Okay, Apollo. Glorious Disaster now. Well, we're not doing that. Thank you very much. I actually don't know if this works or not. Extra dose. If that were to trigger, would that trigger Cardio Gain again? One would think. We're about to get another Hermes boon here, so I'm not going to rarefy it. Oh, I almost missed this. Now, what do you got for me? The effects of my Rush boon. I don't think we care about that much. We can take that, I suppose. Alright, here's a bunch of stuff being dropped off, or maybe just one thing. Did I already get the Hermes boon? No, I took unpaid dues, I forgot. Whoopsie doodle. Might just want the more power now at this junction, since I'm not going to make it. Max magic is kind of useful. Take that, and the 2 boons, and the armor. Ooh. It's got to be snuffed candle out of those. Slow cooker now? Would actually be quite nice. Jesus. I guess warm breeze. It's got like everything here. 2 legendaries. Oh, I spent all my money, so rip unpaid dues. Yeah, that's the thing with unpaid dues. Like, I'm pretty comfortable that I didn't need it here. I guess I wonder if I felt like I was actually in danger of losing the fight, potentially. Should I have not spent that money? But then again, spending that money got me warm breeze and snuffed candle, right? Okay, honey. Wonder. Okay. I was gonna say, I was trying to wolf howl there. Alright. Give him one big one and then start whacking. Low on magic again. Okay, I'm very low on magic now. Why don't we use our wolfy howl? Oh, that was too much. Tried to charge it foolishly. Alright, wolf howl to avoid that damage. Double it up. Wolf howl again. Holy wolf howls, though. Right? He's going to do another stompy thing here, really. I'm out of magic, I think. Excuse me, darling. Thank you. Damn you. Damn you. If only we got the Demeter Legendary, triple legendary. Think of the thumbnail. Think of the thumbnail. I have 40 armor? Still? I've resisted a lot, though, I think. This is a great hammer setup, right? We got Wicked for plus power. Sweeping Ambush is great for this. Skulking Outside is pretty good, too, overall, I'd say. Okay, buddy. Ow. My armor. Come on, imperfect health. I think we got it, right? I think it's safe to say. We do not have enough magic. Alright, finish him in a big one. Boink, boink, boink. With a wolf howl. With a wolf howl. Wait, I wonder if unpaid dues kind of block damage to the armor at some point. Some small amount, right? Now I should have like 0 money left, essentially, or close to it. I had like a very small amount. Yeah, I have 1 gold left. Okay. Interesting. Omega attack on top. I mean, not surprising. The Blitz actually didn't do as well as I would have guessed. So maybe I didn't need to take it. What did I turn down for? I turned down Static Shock. I wonder there. Because that was in the second chamber when I took his special. Would Static Shock have done better long term? I would have had quite a bit less magic, and so that kind of would have been bad in its own way. But I am actually curious because I'm not actually positive. Static Shock is kind of good. I think the way things went, that this was fine. Yeah, this was kind of interesting. This was a good run, to say the least. Auto Forcer did the most damage. Dynamic duos. Oh, come on, I have max health. Why don't you denote that? We have a lot of duo boons. We had 2 legendaries. This is quite the board, huh? I'm gonna say, I think I have another one. 3 duos and 2 legendaries. Their hammers were all very good. But we also had a big slowdown. With these 2 boons, right? Just keeping things up. Which I thought was kind of neat in its own way. Nearly the ultimate slowdown build. Nearly. Tons of curses, too. Wow. Well, that was a fun run. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And I shall see you in another video.